Hey, this is Phil, and it's your Friday video update. So, bad day in the bond market today. Bonds sharply down. Going to impact interest rates a little bit, but not to worry. I don't think this is a long-term thing. It's one of the things that happened here. So, if you hear that rates went up a little bit, it really was a result of a little better than expected job report news today. So, not to worry. I think we'll recover from this. Just may take a few days. Now, onto the show. You'll see the title is Millennials. And honestly, I came across an article that was written by Goldman Sachs about millennials, and I've actually put a link to it down there. You might want to take a look at that and kind of scan through it, because there's a lot of really interesting information, a lot of little links and so forth, so click around when you're looking at that. But then I also found an article that talked about millennials, and it gave kind of 3 points about things that you should do or be aware of when dealing with millennials or looking to work on your business and make it more attractive to the millennial buyer. And if you don't know, those are people born between 1980 and 2000. So point number 1 about millennials is you have to meet them where they are. You know, this is a group of people that was born into the modern technology age. They don't know what it's like not to have a cell phone or a computer. And everything in their life is revolving around that. And if you have kids that are younger, you'll know that. But this is something as a business person we have to address as well. You have to focus your marketing and to get to them where they are and not where society expects them to be. And this is important because they look at the world differently than a lot of us do. And as a realtor, you want to tailor your tactics to make sure that you're reaching out to them in the ways that they're going to see it. These are not new ideas, but certainly if you haven't given some more serious thought to your process and so forth, you might want to do so. Point number 2 is you got to give them what they want. And this can be in a number of different areas, having to do with marketing and how you reach out to them, but also, for example, where they live. Millennials, in a millennial marketing study, the number 1 point for millennials was affordability. But then high on the list was also living close to work, living close to their activities, and living close to downtown, within walking distance of things. So those are big points or factors for millennials. And then millennials, as I said, are well into technology, and you need to make sure that you're offering up things in your platform that are technology driven. And then for maybe talking to potential sellers who might be marketing to a millennial buyer, things such as electrical outlets that have a USB port built into them. Those are available to be retrofitted into a regular outlet, and that might be an upgrade that you might suggest, maybe even in just some key places, so they can easily plug in a cell phone or an iPad or something to recharge it without having to get their charger, just a USB cable. So these are some neat things that you might want to consider, but overall, think of technology as being a big part of the millennial buyer. And lastly, I wanted to say, maybe one of the most obvious things is you got to connect with them on social media. Now, for a lot of us, you think of social media, you think of Facebook. But I'm here to tell you that millennials are even moving beyond Facebook. Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest. These are all things that are very big in a lot of millennial buyers' everyday habits. And if you're not using those other forms of social media, and keep your ear to the networks and so forth, and make sure you're on top of any new trends for social media things that are out there, because these are all things that millennials pay attention to, and they're a big part of their life, quite frankly. They spend a lot of their extra time on those social media things. And as far as you know, this whole millennial thing goes, if you think back to when short sales were just becoming the vogue, and there were a few agents that really stepped up and decided they were going to be a leader in the area for short sales. And what happened? They were super busy when everyone else was suffering. So if you're not paying attention to the millennial buyer and to some of these things that I've pointed out, you could be missing the boat. Be ahead of the curve. Spend some time looking at that link there. Consider the things that I've said, and I hope this helps. Thanks for listening. Have a great weekend, and I'll be sure and talk to you next week.